Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go live in five, four, three, two, one. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm LBJ. You're there and I'm here, and you're listening to the heartfelt truth. Welcome. Let me start off by saying, as I always do, that I hope my voice finds you in good health, spiritually, mentally, and physically. Not necessarily in that order, but all equally important to help us do this thing we call life. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to come into your life for the next few minutes. I hope you find my voice somewhat inspirational, a little motivational, and just gives you another way of looking at things. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to try to contain my excitement. I tell you all the time, I get so excited to get here and talk to you fine people. But let me say something real quick, and this has been something on my mind. I haven't done a podcast in a while. I mean, I'll explain it to you in a few minutes. But what happened is, during the course of current events that are going on right now, I mean, it is very sad what has happened into the Bahamas. And we had this hurricane that came through. And again, for me, real quick, it seemed like every time you turn around, there's like, this is the worst one ever. This is the worst one ever. And they just seem to be getting worse and worse. Now, I don't liken myself to be a weatherman, and I've said that many times before, but my heart goes out to the people of the Bahamas, and I mean sincerely. I'm going to put out some information. I'm going to have to try, perhaps not on this podcast, but the next one. Please, 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 if you get the opportunity, I mean, go on the internet. We live in a world where you can find anything out. Find some place, and if you can make a donation and we can help those people down there in the Bahamas, please do so. I mean, it will be just something to help them uh, try to get back on their feet. I mean, it is just it's devastating. We've seen it all too many times. We've seen it in Puerto Rico. We've seen it all the different islands. These storms that are coming up, and I can't help it. I usually don't talk much about, and I said before, religion and politics, and I'm going to have to revamp that. When the time comes and things come to you, you just got to share with the people, and you find people here and around the world. I'm just going to be myself. But anyway, the topic of global warming and all the things that are going on. Now, I am no scientist. I am no authority on these things, but I am telling you that the planet is changing, the atmosphere is changing, and if you can't open your eyes and see all the things that are going on, now it is a big world, but there are things that are happening, and people are losing their lives and property and family, and it is really, really, it's heartbreaking, and I have to say that. It is absolutely heartbreaking. So if you can find it within your own heart to make some donations, like I said, if I get the information, which I will on my next podcast, I'll try to put it out there because this is just not a one-time thing. This is going to be a process of rebuilding and just and the funny thing is when you're making donations, you're talking about rebuilding. You're talking about rebuilding someone's life. Think about that. I mean, think about where you are right now. Think about what's going on in your life. And ladies and gentlemen, I've been going this past week. We all have problems. We all have things to deal with. I'm sorry. On the outside looking in, I know there are family and friends. And if you're looking through the window and you see, oh my God, they have such a nice life. They have a nice house, nice wife, great husband. I mean, the kids. And then all of a sudden, when you open up and read a few pages, you're like, whoa, the story's changing. So we all have things to deal with. And to rebuild someone's life after a disaster like that is pretty devastating. So if you find it in your hearts, I'm sure anything. It sounds so funny, but it's true. Any little bit helps, and I'm definitely gonna make a donation myself for the people out there in the Bahamas, and it is gonna take years, years to put them back on the right track. So my heart goes out to them and my prayers. And I think that's it. I mean, it's really sad. I mean, we're seeing this all too often. I mean, there's so many things happening in the world. I mean, we got to try to stick together and pull it together. I mean, we're all we got. I don't care what anybody says. We're all we got. I mean, unless you're going to leave it up to the aliens. I was just trying to be light. But anyway, all right. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, you find people here and around the world. I am going to tell you something. I actually, maybe on a lighter note, let me try to just kick this thing off because I was getting depressed just even thinking about those poor people. You know what? I went out to the West Coast. I had a family occasion. And obviously, if you guys can relate to me, weddings are always a nice celebration. And I was invited out to the West Coast, and I probably would not have gone as soon as I did. But my lovely cousin, who is, we're not going to say favorites because I'm not going to, hurt anybody's feelings. But my girl, she invited us out and just showed me and my wife a absolutely fabulous time. And I'm not kidding. It really was special. And both my cousins, Dawn and Kim, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. It's one for the books. So I went out to LA. And let me tell you something. There is an LA vibe that really, really, really is kind of special, different from the East Coast. You heard the stories about, LA said it's so laid back and, this and that. Yeah, it's true, man. The vibe is so different as opposed to us on the East Coast here, especially here in the tri-state area. It's amazing. And I actually enjoyed it, and then to wake up in the morning in the mountains and, they live down there in the valley. It's so funny when I said the valley. San Fernando Valley and Burbank and Beverly Hills. I mean, they're just doing their thing, man. It's a lot of fun. So, but the thing is, I met a lot of people. And what I'm trying to do is I want to put my notes together. And I definitely want to give a couple shout outs. I mean, I met some really progressive people, people in businesses and in the entertainment field and just in general. And they were just so welcoming. I mean, it's amazing. It's very rare. I don't know about you, but it's rare when you go somewhere and you meet a bunch of people and you say, I could live out here. And I actually said to myself, I could actually live out there. Now, home is home. You're never going to you forget it. Home is home. But you get out and you say, this is a really nice place. It's comfortable. It's nice. Now, I mean, obviously, there's no geographical cure, people. Let's get with that. But they were very special. So what I want to do is I'm going to put it all together, give some shout outs. I met some business people. I met some entertainers, things like that. And I want to give everybody their just due and kind of just share some of my experience with them. And I haven't done anything in a while. So thank you for you fine people, you dedicated people who actually turned in and listened to LBJ. I want to give you all my experience when I went out to LA, and I'm going to put that on my next podcast. I kind of got caught up with the Bahamas. It really set me back, because that storm, and now it's just sweeping the East Coast, and I mean it's not going to get to us, but there are people in its path, and it's going to affect them in their livelihood and their lives, and it's a tough call, and you try to mix that in, it's kind of you feel guilty, and that's where I'm all over the place because I'm caught up in this, this joyous occasion and this really fantastic trip that I had. And then you mix that up with the devastation that happened to the Bahamas, and that's even happening here in the United States. I'm not gonna dismiss us too. We've had some hit and misses, but the Bahamas, if you look at the pictures, it's insane. So, but anyway, listen, I'm going to try to put it all together in the next podcast and share some fun. I will say this one thing real quick. I flew out, to the West Coast, and it was about a 5.5 hour flight. Going maybe about a half hour delay. Coming back 2 hour delay. It is what it is. Patience really is a virtue, and I've had the best flight. I'm telling you, the flight that I had, I'm telling you, it was like glass. I mean, we were just there was a time that I looked out the window and I wasn't even sure if we were flying. That's how smooth this ride was. Without flaw, I will tell you this: there was about 5 minutes of turbulence, and beyond that, it was just such a really pleasurable ride. And I have to give them the shout out, and I have to just give out to United Airlines. They were phenomenal. That's all I got to say. You know, Continental for United, they changed the names and all that stuff, but I know United, phenomenal. So shout out to them. That's about it. So listen, be patient. Thank you. I usually don't do a podcast in the evening. I'm kind of a morning guy, but I just felt compelled to reach out to my fan base. It sounds so funny, right? I have a few people that actually listen on a regular basis, which is kind of fun. And I'm not drinking any coffee because it's a little later. Actually, I'm drinking some tea, iced tea to be exact. So it's good stuff. All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, thank you for allowing me to come into your life for the last few minutes and giving me the opportunity to share a little bit of what's on my mind. And you find people here and around the world. Thank you for your support. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, I say it all the time. Please take care of yourself. Take care of your families because family is important. And if you see someone that needs a helping hand, try it out. Stick yours out and help them if you can. I know this one act really, really will, in my heart, I believe, will make the world a better place. And it's going to be one of those things that help you on your journey. And yes, you have a journey to being the best person that you were meant to be. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm LBJ. You're there, and I'm here. And you've been listening to the heartfelt truth. We'll talk again.